You all remember Susan Rice appearing on those 5 Sunday talk shows, pushing the violent protest over that despicable YouTube video lie. We now know the White House and the State Department not only lied to all of us about the truth, they also lied to the press. Mistake. With me now is former CIA operative Mike Baker, joins us from Boise, Fox News military analyst David Hunt, still with us from Boston, former Navy SEAL Christopher Mark Heben, still with us in New York. All right, Mike, right from the get-go, they threw the CIA under the bus. Do you feel exonerated?
Yeah, unhappily so. You'd like to think that the White House has more honor than that, but we've been talking about this, Judge, on your show shortly since the attack occurred. The White House, oddly enough, is in charge of the White House talking points, the points that they put together under their direction to explain their position on any particular matter. They would like us to think somehow that the CIA is driving that train, or the State Department now, as if somehow the White House is nothing more than a mouthpiece. Hey, you send over your talking points, we'll read whatever you draft. Just go ahead. But it's an indication, again, of this continuing contempt that the president has for the public, in the belief that they can't tell the difference between a load of crap and the truth.
Well, and you know, that's an interesting comment. And Colonel Hunt, I'm going to go back to you. One of the things that Greg Hicks said was that he was told that they couldn't get an F-16 there because they didn't have an air tanker to refuel. What's your thought on that?
It's ridiculous in the face of it. An F-16 takes off at supersonic from Aviano, Italy, and they refuel in Sicily, and then they go into Benghazi, and the same thing coming back. We've been in combat for over 11 years. This administration for over 4 years. We know how to go from point A to point B and kill something. They were just never given the order to do it.
Colonel, why do you think they never got that order to defend Americans? Why?
The only answer is political, because the military is so well trained, along with the intelligence service, after this much combat. It's a political. I don't know why the president didn't give the order. I just know he is the only one that can do it.
And Martin Dempsey, you know him. You worked with him. Why would he say we couldn't have gotten there in time?
That's disingenuous at best and a lie at the worst. I served with Marty as colonels. Shows you how good my career was. But the fact is that Marty knows better, and everyone in the special operations community and in the Air Force who was in Europe at that time know better.
Okay, and Mark, you lost 2 friends, the SEAL community. I mean, this is what you guys do. What is the feeling in that community?
You know, there's a big feeling of frustration. This is what we train for. This is what we live for. There were half a dozen or more hardcore, ass-kicking government assets that could have been on scene within 4 hours, and nobody got the call. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. They let my buddies hang out up there on that rooftop like a set of dog balls, just exposed without any support.
Why?
Ridiculous.
Why do you think they did that?
Well, as the colonel said, there's got to be a political agenda at work here. What they're covering up, we're not exactly sure yet, but I know it'll come out at some point in time. This administration reeks.
Well, and Mike Baker, what about you? I mean, the CIA community, I mean, what is their take on all of this after you hear from Hicks and the whistleblowers who had so much on the line and were willing to take it?
Right. Well, there's a lot of people right now that are very thankful for this week and what took place. And as you pointed out also, for I think a growing realization amongst the White House press corps that they've been lied to from the start. That more than anything will probably continue this push and give us more traction. But the agency, you know, they've got a long history of getting thrown under the bus. That part of it they're used to. But now to show that they were very clear in their reporting leading up to this attack, talking about the deteriorating security situation and all the problems that were taking place there, Al-Qaeda and Ansar al-Sharia, all those difficulties, then to have those pulled out over a period of 12 different revisions and have the White House now try to pass off this idea that, well, you know, I mean, it was just the agency and the State Department. We had nothing to do with it. Well, you know, that they're driving the train.
And it is disappointing. Colonel Hunt, very quickly, I mean, you know, what about all of the forces that were trained to get involved in this in emergencies? I mean, some of them actually disobeyed orders and left from Tripoli and went to Benghazi in spite of what the president didn't order. Your take on that?
Yeah, they did from Tripoli and got stuck at the airport. But we have to remember, if it wasn't for the CIA at the base, more Americans would have died. They heroically fought their way down a mile and a mile back to save Americans. They did it on their own. That was a small, very, very good force. But the issue is we had other forces that also could have been there. When this fight starts, nobody knows, as you said, it was going to last 8 hours. It could have lasted 24.
That's
There's
right.
no excuse
They never
for what
sent
happened.
help. All right, Colonel Hunt, Mike, and Chris, thanks so much for being with us.